Hey there, I'm Toby from Noise Productions, makers of Virtual Video Director, here to make a little bit of a demo video for Blackmagic ATEM users on how to set it up with Virtual Video Director and test it out. So first thing you need to do is go to www.np.co.nz, click on the software link at the top and go to Virtual Video Director. Right at the top of the page you'll see a button, Blackmagic ATEM Beta Testers, download here. Just click on that and it'll download the latest version of Virtual Video Director, which includes Blackmagic support. Once that's downloaded, just run the installer, follow the process through. It's pretty standard. It'll take you through where to install it, and after that's completed, you should have an icon on your desktop with Virtual Video Director on it. Now while this is going, it's a good time to think about what you're going to use for your audio source. I recommend either an ASIO interface with your microphones plugged into it, or alternatively you can use Wheatstone blades if you've got those in your studio. NDI, you can use Dante. There's all sorts, so everything about what you're going to do. Once you run it, you'll get asked to accept the terms and conditions, and this is what you'll see the first time. So obviously we haven't chosen an audio interface yet. If you click on the button there, it'll open up the settings. Under settings you can go to control panel. Also I'd recommend changing to fixes and bleeding edge branch of Virtual Video Director, because that will have all the latest updates for Blackmagic as we find any issues. So first thing to do in the top is to choose your audio interface. If you've got other ASIO cards or any other sources, they'll appear there. You can just pick it from the list. For today I'm just going to use NDI just for demonstration purposes. If you do choose NDI, you can scan the network for NDI sources and just select the ones you want to use. I'll just use a couple of test tones that we've got on the network here. So then you should get on the left, you can see Virtual Video Director interface. You should have an input for each audio channel of whatever interface you've chosen. Up the top you can send us your log files if you want, so that we can find any issues you might be having. You can also set Virtual Video Director to start on boot if you want to. So next step is to choose Blackmagic as your camera trigger type. To find out the IP address, you'll need to run the Blackmagic control software. You'll actually need that installed anyway because we talked to that, but you don't actually need to have it running for Virtual Video Director to work. So it just needs to be installed so that we can access the drivers for it. Just go into the connection settings for your ATEM, click on ATEM setup, and you'll get the IP address. It's a good idea to set a static IP address so that it doesn't change, otherwise you have to keep coming in here and updating it whenever your ATEM gets a new IP address. So then just go back to Virtual Video Directory into the control panel, and under trigger 1 you can paste in the IP address of your ATEM, and you'll see down the bottom it's now connected to ATEM Mini, so it's figured out what sort of mixer it is. So we'll have a look at some of the other settings. The director personality is how fast Virtual Video Director is going to react to audio changes. The realism simulator can basically just randomly cut to a channel that's had some recent activity, and that's good for getting the feedback of someone who might be talking. It just puts a little bit more realism into the cuts instead of it just being 100% audio based. We have overview, so if there's silence or if multiple people talk, you can trigger a specific channel on your ATEM and set that up as you want. And then the minimum duration is what's the minimum amount of time between camera cuts. So you can either make it quite snappy or more natural. Usually I like to set a setting up around 8 or 9 seconds, otherwise it can feel a bit choppy and too much cutting back and forward between cameras. But it depends on your content, so have a play around with that and see how it goes. So yeah, close the control panel, and now you should be able to trigger Virtual Video Director by hitting the little go buttons on the right hand side of each channel. Set the numbers there that I just did they correspond to the inputs on the ATEM. So 1 is going to be camera 1, 2 is going to be camera 2, so on. And then we can click a button to simulate audio coming in, and it will trigger that corresponding channel. There we go, yep. You can mute channels if you don't want anything coming through. And you can see there's the overview and the silence channels. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Please drop us a line if you have any questions. Use the help within Virtual Video Director. It'll guide you to get support from us if you need any help. And hopefully you have fun playing with it. Cheers.